Hey everyone, today we're doing the second video for the pet-based shaman occultist conjurer, predominantly pet-based build. This version is going to be the vitality damage version. Before we were using our wind devils, specifically to take advantage of Maelstrom to output lots of lightning damage, combined with our storm totem as the actual storm totem for lightning, and then our three pets. Excuse me, the Summon Hellhound, the Summon Familiar, and the Summon Familiar, let's make sure I mouse over it, and Summon Briarthorn as our three pets, throwing in the Primal Spirit. This time around, it's almost exactly the same, except we're predominantly using Wendigo Totem and Storm Totem as our personal main damage abilities, mixed in a little bit with Sigil of Consumption. Now, I don't have Sigil Consumption up to its modifier, just because I don't have the spare 6 points to get there, presently. I may pull the I think it's 7 points or 8 points I have in Curse of Frailty, just to get to Destruction, and to start building it up a bit, but for now, I'm going to keep it the way it is. I think if I were to actually do this, I would possibly drop the 10 points to get to here. If I were to do this properly, I would actually consider dropping the 10 points to get this far into the shaman tree and then drop the extra points I threw on these abilities, specifically to get to Destruction and have it's just raw vitality damage. But I'd also consider Soleil's Witchfire and Second Right worked into the build. But for now, I'm actually fine with the way it's set up, and it's going to be basically how it was before, skill wise and tactics wise. But items are a bit different. Not a lot different, a bit different. Specifically, instead of using the Sacred Hammer of Eternal Wrath, I'm using the Lifebinder. It has +2 to vulnerability and +1 to Wendigo Totem, which is pretty nice for what we got. And it has absurd % vitality damage on it. My offhand is the Black Grimoire of Ognapesh. Now you may have noticed I replaced the Raven with, not the Raven. And I decided, why not? Let's get this third summon back. We'll get a third summon back, and it'll be Augie. And that also provides us with vitality damage. And I put Haunted Steel in the weapon, and I put a Hallowed Fang in the offhand instead of second Haunted Steel, mostly because I couldn't make a second Haunted Steel right now. The chest piece is Skinflay Raiment because of the +1 to Wendigo Totem, the vitality damage, and +2 to Sigil of Consumption. I threw a Killerian Shattered Soul in there for the vitality damage instead of Bindings of Baizmiel, just because I wanted to have this a little more different than the previous setup, even though it's still very pet focused. And you can see my pets still have really good stats supporting them, even without the bindings, and even without the Wild Speaker coat. For the waist, I do have the option of going with, and if I were to get to Destruction, I'd probably switch it in, the Chthonian Thread Sash, because it's got vitality damage, some pretty good resistances, and +2 to Destruction, and Lifestealer Nova would be a good proc to have in case you do get struck by melee attacks. But since I didn't go to Destruction, I'm not going to equip it for now. The other reason I'm not really going for Destruction is it would require quite a few points, and I'd have to pull them from elsewhere. I'm also not really going to go into Destruction go further into the occultist side of things, because of, this is sort of almost a void of other abilities. I mean, yeah, I would get Second Right out of it as well, but just in for my preferences, I just didn't want to, invest the 7 points to get these two, or it'd be 8 points to get all of that in there. I don't think it'd actually be enough, though I may, vulnerability isn't providing a lot, at least right now. I mean, it's still good, it synergizes well with everything, but, yeah, usually everything's dead before vulnerability really really adds to what's going on. I'm gonna run Steps of Torment. So I'll be back once I get there. Now I'm gonna try to get through Steps of Torment fairly quickly with this, and I think it'll be mostly possible to do it. As we go through, the pets are gonna probably gonna be our prominent source of damage, though our 3 dots are actually gonna do pretty well. This build is just really fun. Well, it's fun right now. I can see tiring of it quickly, just because, I mean, let me throw. It's like I could see this getting very, very tiresome very quickly because they're pets, and it's like, there's just going to be that point where it's okay, this is all they can do for me, let's move on to something else. Now, some other options in here for this particular build include Black Death, I think it is. Here, let me look it up real quick. Excuse me, Wasting. Wasting is definitely an option as well for just passing the vitality damage along. And I know a lot of people don't like the Plague Dot, but I've actually made a character based around that. What kind of based around that? Half of his ability was that. His abilities were that. And it's actually not that bad an ability to focus on. I'm not using Bloodthirster at all because it's really not the reason I went with that. I mean, it's obvious why I'm not using it, but it's like it's a borderline pointless ability since I'm not directly attacking anything.
That skill's not
I miss the sigils like crazy. It's almost a little funny how bad I am at getting those sigils in the proper spots. The other alternate ability would be Devouring Swarm, which is also vitality based. But the thing about Devouring Swarm is I was having trouble actually getting it working right because it actually, well, it's probably my fault. I was probably, well, I had trouble getting it to work because I was using it in my left click, and I think if I wasn't using it there, it would have worked better. But also, it was kind of contrary to how I like playing this build, really, because whenever I play this build, I like being able to move around and avoid getting hit, just using like my own ability to dodge rather than relying on like my character's armor or something. So I kind of felt that just basically sitting there and trying to almost channel Devouring Swarm just wasn't working for me. Though I honestly think it should be a channeled ability, like an actual channeled ability instead of a cast, like button mash cast it, because even though it is kind of a dot, I found it very, very difficult to use, like to aim and to actually see where it's going especially with this particular build, because with this build, like, all you see are all of the particle effects on all of your turrets and your pets, and it's like, I know it's just kind of a mess. Like, the battlefield turns into a mess with this build. So having the swarm was just really counterproductive for me. With just the way things I had going with this, it's just like, it was just super counterproductive. I definitely prefer having the ability to, with the pets, to like duck and weave everything. Yeah. Build. Oh. I summoned him, he was trapped in the corner. He didn't even contribute. Lazy! No, that was just poor... That was just bad luck on where he spawned. I don't actually know if you can control where the Primal Spirit plops down, but yeah, he didn't. He didn't plop down in any helpful way there. I think I'm gonna go for the room of death. It went really well with my beam guy. So we're gonna give it a try this time. I'm just gonna be very careful about what about watching the spawns. Also, I don't necessarily want to be sitting in the middle. Oh no, Grim Dawn. Don't do this to me, Grim Dawn. What's funny is, like, this build actually goes so fast through the game that even if I were to die here, I just try to get back here and do it again. I mean, it'd be detrimental, but at the same time, it's like, oh, it's done. Ugh. Isn't that a vitality weapon? Or vitality offhand? No, it's just poison. It's a funny weapon, but so I kind of have a character that can use it. Yeah, and all my summons survived the Chamber of Souls. Room of Death without breaking a sweat. Yeah, this time through, I didn't post the video, so saying this time through might be a little confusing. But the last time I did this with this build, I did it in the laziest, quickest, cheapest way I could, and I just didn't fight anything. And I just barreled my way through it as fast as I could. So it's like this time I'm actually gonna go and fight all the bosses and go in all the chambers. And you know, I'm actually liking this build a little bit more than the lightning one. If only because I can actually tell what's going on. Because in the lightning one, I'm sure anyone that's really used that ability can attest to this. It gets very it gets very messy. And when it's messy, it's confusing. And when it's confusing, the game kind of loses a level of fun. Don't get me wrong, Maelstrom is great, and I'm actually going to make an Arcanist Shaman combination that uses that ability predominantly. But just as a... Can I actually put the... Oh, I can. I should have kept the door closed. But yeah, it's like you tend to end up dealing with just a crap ton of crap that's everywhere with the Maelstrom ability and your pets and your other summons. So it's like, oh, this my brain can actually comprehend what's going on the screen. Yeah, I still have an attuned lodestone on my metal. I just realized. I could probably do to remove that.
That skill's not ready.
That was bad placement of that Wendigo totem. Easy peasy. Chains of Anguish. Oh, well, let's just run back. We have to run back down this way to get to the door, so we'll just run back this way to get to the door. Time isn't too bad on this, in all honesty. It's sort of the big advantage of this build too, is you can just burn through everything super quick. You don't have to be, I don't want to say you don't have to be careful, but man, do you ever not have to be careful with this build. It's like I pretty much don't want to get hit by the turrets that the blue balls of bullshit turrets. I don't even know what their names are. Blue fireballs of BS. like, my Aether guy, despite being, you know, really good at what he does, he actually does have to kind of move a little careful through this place. Oh. Wait, which way? Oh, am I going up here? Oh, okay. I think I see the route I have to go. See, she's not actually been in this part of the Gates of Anguish, fully yet. She actually got to Alcamos and then died at Alcamos because I didn't have Hoarfrost ointment up, so she got froze a bunch of times and then beaten. Beaten quite severely, actually. I don't attack the guy! I should just put... The more I think about it, the more I think I should put, Force Move on my right click with her. It's a really good suffix. Too bad it was on a ring and didn't have a prefix. Oh, whoops. Let's teleport our pets in here. Oh, never mind. We did it. This is like a minor room of death. It's sort of pick up the roiling blood. It sort of links to this room over here where the merchant is, who's not here. He's usually right there, right? Oh, whoa. See, I'd say I do like this one, this variation, a little more than the lightning variation. But just a little tweaking, it could be an absolutely fantastic build. I also think it needs more. Having a full shaman does mean needing a lot of skill points to actually get to the end of the shaman. And I do kind of think I need a few more points, in all honesty, to really make this work super spectacularly. Oh, the merchants are here. Let's see what he has for me today. I'll buy that. That's pretty much it. Just a mark of illusions. Yeah, you can see she actually got in Alcamos' room. let's just put that totem right on the middle of a rubble pile. Me. Good aiming. Good aiming. I ran by the room. Whoops. Good at this game sometimes. I don't know, I'm sure there was someone watching that was like, the room's back there. James, the room is back there. James, the room's back there. James. Okay, that was scary. I got bone prisoned. I almost literally got boned in that room. Now we are going to do Hoarfrost Ointment. I don't really think we need anything else. We'll put Royal Jelly Bomb on just because. Here we go. Cue the Benny Hill theme song. Oh God. Don't land. Oh. You know, part of me is like, ugh, why doesn't he go for the pets? But part of me is like, you know, it's actually quite intelligent to have the enemies go for you and not your pets. Ow. Akamos, please. At least play along a little bit. Oh, jeez.
Can't do that yet.
Ah, I got him. Okay, everyone, that was Steps of Torment with the newer-ish Vitality build. Let's look at what we get out of it. Hulking leg guards. Throw those on the pile. Man, I wish that were one-handed. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video.